welcome to the Independence edition of Let's Talk Tobago. Join us as we celebrate 56 years as an independent nation, 56 years as proud citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. Sit back and relax as we take you through the night at the Independence reception, hosted by the Chief Secretary of the Tobago House of Assembly, the Honorable Kelvin Charles and Mrs. Charles. We'll get to hear him address the nation as we take you inside the Shore Park complex. Hear what the patrons had to say, how they feel about our nation after 56 years. So thank you for joining us. I'm Davia Chambers, and Let's Talk Tobago starts right now. Stay with us.
Chief Secretary of Tobago House of Assembly, the Honorable Kelvin Charles and Mrs. Charles, Members of Parliament, Members of the Diplomatic Corps, Presiding Officer Dr. Dennis Soyafat Angus, Deputy Chief Secretary, Assemblyman Joel Jack, other secretaries and assistant secretaries of the Tobago House of Assembly, Permanent Secretary in the Office of the Prime Minister, Mrs. Bernadette Solomon Karuma and Mr. Mahmoud Karuma, fellow administrators of the Tobago House of Assembly, specially invited guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It is with great pleasure that I welcome everyone here who has joined us to celebrate our 56th birthday as an independent nation. As a people, we have come a long way from the days of colonial rule to one largely of self-determination. I deliberately said largely, as we are yet to take this significant step and demonstrate faith in our jurists by acceding to the Caribbean Court of Justice as our final appellate court. But that's for another day. At 56 years, we are still relatively young. But we have the luxury of studying and observing other older and more mature countries. We have the opportunity to learn from their mistakes and adopt some of the positive things that they would have done to make them the successful countries that they are today. You are probably thinking that there may be cultural and other nuances that we must consider before taking this recommendation seriously. I agree with you to a certain extent. The world, however, is fast becoming a global melting pot, a concoction of different peoples and cultures, and the one thing that is constant throughout this entity is the desire for freedom and an improved quality of life. We, Trinidad and Tobago, also aspire to these ideals. To be a successful country, we must address, among other national concerns, the issues of our work ethic, our respect for law and order. We must also demonstrate empathy and caring for our neighbors and for the less fortunate, tolerance and understanding for those who are different from us, fairness, even-handedness, and transparency in our dealings, especially when using public funds. This, however, is a bittersweet moment for me personally, as it will be the last time that I will stand here to address you as Chief Administrator of the Tobago House of Assembly. In May of 2019, I leave the public service after 42 years of being a servant of the state. This career does not bring with it financial rewards to make one rich, as other choices or other professions may do, but it allows one to give service to fellow citizens that should enrich their lives. It provides the opportunity to serve the many publics with the recognition that service to mankind is the best service that one can give after service to God. I have no regrets. So let me use this opportunity to say thanks to Trinidad and Tobago for giving me this opportunity to serve. As I bid you farewell, I leave you with these words. Be true to yourself, and remember that thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil. Think about whatever you do as an individual, as the majority is not always right. So on behalf of the Honorable Kelvin Charles and Mrs. Charles and the Tobago House of Assembly, I welcome you and wish you and Trinidad and Tobago a happy 56th Independence Anniversary, and may God continue to bless this little island of ours. Thank you.
My fellow Tobagonians, in preparing to address you, I tried to think about the words to describe the emotions of the late Dr. the Honorable Eric Williams and his team on midnight of August 30th, 1962. After a long and tedious battle to obtain independence, 3 words came to mind. I imagine that as they witnessed the lowering of the Union Jack, followed by the hoisting of the red, white, and black flag, to the playing of the national anthem of a new Trinidad and Tobago, the expressions and emotions could have been captured by the words beautiful, exciting, progress. Brothers and sisters, as we mark yet another independence celebration, and as I reflect on our achievements over the last year as an administration, even in the context of reduced fiscal resources, I too am thinking, though tough, it has been a beautiful year, an exciting year, a progressive year. Fellow Tobagonians, there is always more to be done, for complacent we must never become. A lot has happened in 56 years. Trinidad and Tobago has undergone numerous changes over the period. Tobago continues to evolve into an island that celebrates the strides made in the past, while forging ahead to elevate and position itself for continued growth, success, and greatness. Our national watchwords, discipline, production, and tolerance, ought to provide the context and motivation for our efforts and operations as a people. In his address on that glorious first Independence Day, the late Prime Minister, Dr. the Honorable Eric Williams, stated, "This is what I meant when I gave the nation its slogan for all time, discipline, production, and tolerance." In discipline, whether individual or sectional, is a threat to democracy. Slacking on the job jeopardizes the national income, inflates costs, and merely sets a bad example. The medieval churchmen had a saying that to work is to pray. It is also to strengthen our democracy by improving economic foundations. Brothers and sisters, the spirit of the Tobagonian over the years has been known for strength, discipline, hard work, industry, sacrifice, and a promoter of righteousness and justice. This is exactly the kind of spirit that we need to catapult Tobago to its full potential. As we reflect on our recent past, I assure you that this administration is determined to develop Tobago further. I can proudly recall the transformation of the Studley Park Quarry from an operation that was deemed inefficient, ineffective, and underperforming to an entity that is cost-effective, better managed, and now operated by a special purpose company owned by the THA. Since the change of management structure, SPEL has delivered a consistently higher yield of production and distribution of aggregate as opposed to previous years, despite the aging infrastructure. Since November to date, aggregate distribution is recorded at 135,750 metric tons, approximately 400% higher than the similar period previously. Most importantly, the company is a profitable one. And this, I would say, is performance and progress. May I remind you that the long-awaited Southwest wastewater treatment plant is currently under construction. given the increasing population of the Southwest and taking into consideration the area's visitor population, such a plant was becoming increasingly necessary. As a result, an agreement made among the Mount Pleasant Credit Union, the Water and Sewage Authority, and the Tobago House of Assembly has facilitated access to IADB funds earmarked for the project. My brothers and sisters, this is a clear example of our commitment to enhancing delivery and strengthening partnerships. Since coming into office, this administration, despite being challenged to do more with less, has been desperately trying to preserve employment on the island. In some instances, we have successfully deployed workers to other tasks in an effort to avoid loss of jobs. In this regard, we have taken steps to improve the efficiency of programs such as the Unemployment Relief Program and the Community-Based Environment Protection and Enhancement Program, CPEP. We have listened to the cries of many Tobagonians asking for better management of these programs. During the last quarter of last year, this administration embarked on the restructuring of the URP program. Today, we can proudly boast that a verification or certifying process was implemented, whereby through partnership with the Division of Education, Innovation and Energy, URP participants are now able to enter into vocational skills training and be certified at the end of the course. In addition to this, we have sought to make the operations at URP more profitable by providing an opportunity for the public to purchase products made by the URP workers. URP workers will also be engaged in areas as the self-help program, assisting with the provision of labor in treating with community concerns. Brothers and sisters, with achievements such as these, I can say it has been a beautiful year, an exciting year, a progressive year. As I continue to highlight areas of entrepreneurship with respect to vocational training, it is noteworthy that our last technical vocation training program cycle saw approximately 772 graduates. And for this upcoming cycle, we already have over 900 persons registered. We continue to make available numerous vocational classes in various skilled areas in our communities so that persons can become more self-sufficient, self-reliant, and entrepreneurial. Permit me to highlight that it was also under this administration that the Argyle Microenterprise Facility was commissioned for small businesses, and in the last quarter of this year, we expect to commission the Plymouth Adventure Microenterprise Facility. Evidence once again that this administration is working for you. As we continue to prioritize agriculture as one of the drivers of diversification of the Tobago economy, this administration is committed to providing incentives for the island's farmers. Tobago's only agricultural institution, the Kendall Farm School, has to date facilitated 25 training programs, and at its 2018 graduation, 45 persons completed the Youth Apprenticeship Program in Agriculture, YAPA, the largest cohort ever. It is important to note that through the Division of Education, Innovation and Energy, steps are currently being pursued to facilitate accreditation status for this Kendall Farm School. We also continue to press forward speedily with the development of access roads for our farming communities through the 20 million allocation from central government for this purpose. This year has also seen the relocation of the Scarborough Market to Orange Hill Road, and refurbishment works on the old market in Scarborough have already commenced. In addition to this, it is also worth mentioning that the first phase of the Scarborough Abattoir refurbishment is completed. Brothers and sisters, it has been a beautiful year, an exciting year, a progressive year. Over the years, Tobago has experienced challenges in maintaining and sustaining a viable tourism product. We have since set up the Tobago Tourism Agency charged with the mandate to revive and restore this sector. Fortunately, thus far, we have maintained airlift over the last year and look forward to continued business with Virgin Atlantic, British Airways, Thomas Cook, Condor, and Caribbean Airlines. However, we are mindful that our efforts must be ramped up in this sector. We applaud the efforts of our external partners as we anticipate new business opportunities from networking forums such as Last Call to the United Kingdom market, Back to Tobago to the Trinidad market, and the Caribbean Tourism Organization Week and the Cruise Road Show in the United States. One of the things we must be mindful of is that the progress and development of this beautiful island is almost solely hinged on the strength of its human resources. As an administration, we aim to engage heavily in preventative care. One area of breakthrough has been the setting up of the Policy Research and Planning Unit at the Tobago Regional Health Authority, which has begun research in areas relating to cancer. To facilitate the diversity of our population, we have also extended opening hours of 2 of our health centers, one at Canaan and the other at Scarborough. Additionally, it was only on Monday, the 27th of this week, that we turned the sod for the construction of a new Mariah Health Center. And on Tuesday, the 28th, we opened the Stroke, Diabetes and Foot Care Center in Scarborough. On Thursday, the 23rd of August 2018, I also had the pleasure of launching the establishment of the first licensed community residence for children at risk at Lambo. Brothers and sisters, by now, you should agree with me that it has been a beautiful year, an exciting year, a progressive year. This administration is mindful that economies are evolving, and so too the way governments are doing business. To this end, we are now in the process of populating an investment and public-private partnership unit. This unit will facilitate the development and implementation of an accelerated public investment program. Its mandate includes developing and managing the Assembly's public-private partnership policy framework, providing technical assistance to divisions, departments, and agencies, and coordinating the development of the Tobago Infrastructure Investment Strategy. We are also making strides in our social infrastructure. To date, 16 families have received keys for homes at Adventure Phase 2 Housing Development Project. And all things being equal, a total of 94 families will call this development home upon completion of the project. Brothers and sisters, today we officially opened the Scarborough Roman Catholic Primary School at a cost of $85 million and the Smithfield Connector Road to Mount Mary. Education of our children continues to be of utmost importance to this administration. I must commend our Caribbean Secondary Education Certificate CSEC students and their teachers. This year, we saw improvement in the pass rate of 7 out of our 9 secondary schools. Overall, our students have gone from a pass rate of 30.5% in 2012 to a pass rate of 42.3% in 2018. We intend to continue to strengthen and empower our human resources in our schools. To this end, the University of Trinidad and Tobago UTT has honored its commitment to offer courses free of charge to Tobagonians in areas deemed necessary for the island's advancement, for example, in agriculture and marine sciences. We have also embarked on a construction certification training program to provide relevant and contemporary certification to those persons who are vocationally inclined, and this is open to the general public. In keeping with the demands of the modern world, through partnership with one educator, Joseph Frederick, we were able to offer a NERDS International Young Innovators Camp during the July-August vacation, where students were introduced to areas such as circuit building and design, game and application design, and animation. Another example of the way we are enhancing our delivery and strengthening our partnerships. I am reminded that we would have held the launch of the National Crime Prevention Program in Tobago last week, Friday, August the 24th. This initiative, being spearheaded by the Ministry of National Security, seeks to tackle the scourge of crime from a community level. It requires each of us to get involved in preventative measures that can stymie the growth of crime in our communities. The Tobago House of Assembly is committed to this initiative, and in the weeks to come, you will hear more about how you can become involved. As we get ready to enter a new financial year, I urge all Tobagonians to reflect on their individual responsibility as citizens of this great nation and purpose in their hearts to contribute to growth, development, and progress of Tobago. This is not the time for us to become withdrawn and oblivious to matters of governments. A fundamental characteristic of democracy as a structure of government is the involvement and the power of every citizen. Each of us ought to make a personal commitment to contribute to the progress of Tobago as we seek to build this island community by community. My fellow Tobagonians, the table has already been set. We are the ones who will determine if we partake and how much we partake of. Our environment is ripe with opportunities that did not exist 10 years ago, let alone 56 years ago. And therefore, I urge all of us to find our niche and maximize the potential it presents. While the tenets and meaning of independence might remain the same as 56 years ago, the expectations, opportunities, and environment are vastly different. As we celebrate another year of this nation's independence, let us not be stuck on the emergence of our independent nation in 1962, but instead in 2018 and beyond. Let us commit to being part of the process that determines how this nation will evolve and transform for our benefit and the benefits of our generations after us. It has been a tough but beautiful, exciting, and progressive year. I thank you.
And at this time, we'll hear what the patrons here at the Independence Reception at the Shaw Park Complex have to say about our country celebrating 56 years as an independent nation. Have a look.
I am truly excited. This is indeed a milestone. It's a historical event, and as a nation, I think we are privileged to be celebrating 56 years. Personally, I am proud to be a part of this celebration.
Indeed, perfect answer. Thank you so much, and do enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you. To happy independence.
Thank you. So beside me is Mr. Julian Celestine, and today we are asking, how do you feel about our country celebrating 56 years as an independent nation?
Well, Davia, I am very, very much proud of our country achievements. I think we would have come a long way. There's still a lot to be done, but I feel relatively proud.
Can you tell us, how do you feel about our country celebrating 56 years as an independent nation?
Well, I'm extremely proud. I think we've come a long way from Dr. Eric Williams to the Honorable Christopher Keith Rowley and all the prime ministers and presidents in between. I think we've done ourselves proud as a nation. We've used our resources, I think, in the best way to develop both islands. And I'm just optimistic. I'm looking forward to the future.
Tell us, how do you feel about Trinidad and Tobago celebrating 56 years as an independent nation?
I think it's a remarkable achievement for the country. I feel that we have grown, and the country is only doing better and better. We are on the right path. We have very good structure, system, schooling in place, and I think we have evolved from where we came from to where we are now. So I want to say happy independence to the nation, and let us strive to be better and better every year.
As always, we thank you for watching. Email us with your comments or queries about the program, and be sure to visit our website, like us on Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. From our house to yours, I'm Davia Chambers, along with the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly, wishing you a safe and very productive week. Happy 56th anniversary, Trinidad and Tobago.